Project sustainability includes much more than a project's technical assessment and design. A project's sustainability includes the social, environmental, and economic conditions that influence how a project is developed and how the project is sustained. Everything that is set up to support a project is included. For example, its financial system and its operation and management system, and the organization of how the infrastructure will be overseen. To make a project sustainable, it is critical to work with the community to make sure that the community has affordable and reliable access to funding, part supply chains, and training programs to sustain the operation of the project as it was intended. Water supply projects that do not plan how infrastructure will be funded, operated, and maintained are incomplete. For example, a water supply project which includes a pump with parts that are either inaccessible or unaffordable in the community in which the pump is installed are not sustainable. The community will likely abandon the project if they ever need a replacement part, and they will likely risk disruptions to their water supply. The objective of EWB USA projects is not to make communities dependent on EWB resources nor on project teams. A sustainable project will empower a community to operate a project technology into the future. Community capacity is the ability of communities to develop, implement, and sustain their own solutions to shared problems. Building this capacity involves processes by which local individuals and organizations obtain, improve, and retain the skills, knowledge, equipment, and other resources needed to meet an objective efficiently and effectively. This is especially important when financial and human resources are limited. Training communities helps project sustainability by ensuring that a project can continue to operate within the community and is not bottlenecked if a person leaves or is not available for a task at any time. Training operators and managers of water supply infrastructure should reflect what expertise and level of education and experience exists within the community, and what additional expertise is needed. I remember how this came to light in the Santa Teresa project, where one option for groundwater treatment was reverse osmosis. However, in California, RO systems require complex permits and very expensive operator certification and training. Santa Teresa's remote 40-person community with limited resources could not feasibly obtain the community capacity needed to operate this technology. So we recommended a different option for treatment of their water system that was within this community's capacity. It is critical that a training program includes succession planning in order to be sustainable. If one or several people are responsible for any part of a project's operation, the training program should ensure that others involved with the project, including leadership, are knowledgeable of that person's tasks and are ensuring that there's a system of training for project continuity in case any person leaves their assignment. Training programs should consider division of labor and should take advantage of the distribution of skills that already exist in the community. Those within a community that are already able to undertake a task should continue to do so as needed in order to prioritize training in the areas where the community needs the most assistance. The maintenance body should also be locally recruited and trained. Local project partners are valuable because of their familiarity with their community and can help coordinate training programs. Training for community capacity is not exclusive to operators and managers and may be needed to be extended to project users. For example, a water supply project in a water-scarce area may have value in training the community on water use efficiency. Besides training, community capacity includes the community's ability to finance and manage a project. For example, building a well in a water distribution system in a community is not a sustainable water supply project if the project is not assigned a responsible party to manage the system. Such projects can fail in equitably supplying water to a community and can result in unintended consequences. Community management and fees need to be considered in order to ensure that a water supply project will have sufficient oversight and funding to continue its operation and to have adequate maintenance. A project team will need to carefully consider all current and future project costs, costs that may fluctuate, such as labor and energy, and the existing financial structures and mechanisms in a community which can be replicated or optimized to ensure that the community is willing to pay into a system that they trust. Especially important to consider is how much the community is able to afford for the water supply project relative to their current expenses for water, their incomes and other expenses, and their current and future population. The collected fees will need to be sufficient to finance the infrastructure, the O&M costs, including training for operators and management, and direct and indirect permitting costs such as data collection, as well as emergency funds for repairs or mismanagement. If possible, the community's existing oversight entities should be used and reformed to the new project. In your projects, you may work with communities that have neither formal utility revenue nor management systems, as was the case in our project in Santa Teresa, California. There we had to work closely with the community to mutually understand how much they were able to afford for a new water supply project relative to their current expenses on bottled water. In addition, we worked with the community to designate local leaders to manage the new infrastructure, as well as the new fee system. In order for a project to be sustainable, the community management and fee system must consider current and future accessibility, affordability, and availability of sufficient water for all in the community.